All right, everyone, get ready for a deep dive. Today, it's all about AI customer support.
Ooh, exciting.
But we're going way beyond just your typical chatbots. We're talking about a whole AI dream team working together.
Like a well-oiled machine, almost.
Exactly. And our guide for this journey is an article called AI Customer Support, a multi-agent system blueprint.
Okay, multi-agent system. I'm intrigued already.
Me too. We're going to uncover how these AI agents actually talk to each other, how they, resolve disagreements, and even how they're put into action using things like FastAPI.
I've got to say, the idea of a multi-agent system really caught my eye.
Yeah.
It's like, imagine a company with specialized departments, each one taking care of a different piece of the whole customer interaction.
So instead of one AI trying to do it all, we've got a team of AI specialists, each with their own role.
Bingo. The article breaks these roles down into three main categories.
Yeah.
The researcher, the writer, and the validator.
Okay, I'm picturing a relay race here.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. The researcher digs up the info, passes it to the writer who crafts the response, and then the validator jumps in to make sure it all makes sense and is actually helpful.
Real teamwork. But how do these AI agents actually communicate? Are we talking like tiny meetings with mini whiteboards?
Well, maybe they'll need coffee breaks someday. For now, they rely on two main communication methods. First up, shared state.
Shared state.
Yeah, think of it like a central hub. All the agents can access and update information there all at the same time.
So it's straightforward, efficient, especially for smaller teams.
Right. But imagine you're dealing with a flood of customer inquiries. Like hundreds of these AI teams all working at once. That shared state could get a bit crowded, no.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's where the second method comes in, Redis Pub Sub.
Redis Pub Sub, okay.
It's kind of like a radio station.
Yeah.
Agents publish updates to specific channels, and any other agents who have subscribed to those channels instantly get the info.
Oh, so it's targeted message.
Precisely. That way, agents only get the information they need, exactly when they need it. Makes things much more organized, especially when things get really busy.
Makes sense, yeah, especially for keeping things efficient.
And Redis is amazing because it's built to handle massive amounts of data, but in real time. It avoids those annoying bottlenecks and makes sure communication flows smoothly, even under a lot of pressure.
So it's like a super fast, super organized network just for our AI dream team.
You got it. And it's crucial for scaling things up, especially as more companies start using these multi-agent systems.
Totally. So the choice between shared state and Redis Pub Sub kind of depends on how many customer inquiries a company is dealing with.
Yeah, for lower volumes, shared state might be enough. But once you hit high volume, Redis or another message broker becomes really important to handle all those interactions without things slowing to a crawl.
Okay, now, this is where things start to get really interesting and maybe a little mind-boggling for me. What happens when these AI agents, with all their knowledge and algorithms, disagree? It's not like they can sit down and debate over lunch.
That is a fantastic question. And the article dives right into it. They talk about how the system handles these conflicts using the validator agent.
The validator, huh?
Yep. Think of it as the final judge, using a large language model to figure out how accurate and relevant the proposed response really is.
Hold on, there can be multiple validators.
There can be.
So it's like a whole panel of AI judges making the call on the best answer.
That's a great way to put it. It's all about making sure things are accurate and reliable. Multiple validators weigh in, and if they can't agree, well, there are backup plans.
So even in the AI world, you got to have a plan B for when opinions clash.
For sure.
But let's move from theory to practice here.
Oh.
This article doesn't just talk concepts. It actually walks through building a real-world customer support system, right?
It does. It's not just abstract stuff. It gives you a step-by-step blueprint, starting with figuring out what a customer's question is really about, then sending it to the right agents, resolving those conflicts we just talked about, and even storing reports in a SQL database.
And they use FastAPI for putting it all into action. That's what I call bringing AI from research papers into the real world. What makes FastAPI such a game changer anyway?
Well, FastAPI is all about speed and efficiency, which is perfect for this kind of system.
I can see that.
It's built on Python, which is known for being easy to read and use, and it's specifically designed for making APIs, those interfaces that let different software parts talk to each other.
So it's like the engine that powers the whole customer support system, making sure everything runs smoothly and quickly.
Exactly. And because it's a microservices framework, it lets developers break the system down into smaller, independent pieces.
Okay.
That makes it way easier to manage, update, and scale things up or down as needed.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces come together. It's pretty amazing. But we can't just build our AI team and then just hope for the best, right? We need to make sure they're really performing well.
Absolutely. And that's where debugging and optimization come in. The article mentions using Langsmith, which is like having a performance coach specifically for AI agents.
So Langsmith keeps our AI team sharp and on top of their game,
Mhm.
like a quality assurance department.
Exactly. It helps the developers spot any bottlenecks or areas that could be improved.
I see.
And that's really important to make sure the AI team is giving accurate, helpful, and efficient support to customers. It's not just about building cool AI, it's about building AI that really works flawlessly in the real world.
I like that. And we're back, diving deeper into the world of AI customer support. We've seen how these multi-agent systems tick, from their specialized roles to their super fast communication. But, we got to zoom out a bit. This tech is impressive, but I keep thinking about the bigger picture.
You're right, we can't just geek out over the tech stuff without thinking about the potential impact, especially on jobs. I mean, what happens to all the human customer service reps if companies start leaning heavily on AI?
Exactly, it's a big question. Some folks say AI will create new jobs even if it replaces some old ones, but will that transition really be smooth for everyone?
It's complicated, right? The new jobs AI might create could need totally different skills and training than traditional customer service roles. It's like going from checkers to chess. Similar basic idea, but way more complex strategy.
So it's not just about jobs existing. It's about making sure people have the resources and support to actually move into those new roles. We got to make sure the rise of AI doesn't leave a bunch of people behind.
Absolutely, and that brings up another important point. Continuous learning. AI tech is evolving so fast, we all need to keep learning, not just to coexist with AI, but to really thrive in a world powered by it.
It's like we're all in this moving walkway, and AI keeps cranking up the speed. We got to learn to run, not just walk, to keep up. But speaking of keeping up, how do we even know these AI systems are actually good at customer service? AI is great at crunching data, but can it handle the nuances of human interaction?
That's where the human in the loop idea comes in. Even the smartest AI systems can benefit from a little human guidance, especially when things get complex or emotionally charged.
So it's not about replacing humans entirely. It's about finding that sweet spot where human and artificial intelligence work best together.
Exactly. Think of it as a partnership. Humans bring empathy, creativity, that genuine human touch that's irreplaceable, while AI brings efficiency, speed, and the ability to process tons of data.
Like a dynamic duo, each with their own superpowers, teaming up for an awesome customer experience. But let's not forget, AI can make mistakes. What happens if an AI gives a customer bad or misleading info?
That's where transparency and explainability are super important. We got to be able to see how AI systems reach their conclusions, not just blindly trust their output.
So it's not enough to have a black box spitting out answers. We got to peek inside and understand the reasoning, right?
Exactly. That builds trust in these systems. If customers get how the AI is thinking, they're more likely to accept its suggestions and feel comfortable interacting with it. It's like having a friendly, knowledgeable customer service rep who can walk you through their thinking so you feel confident in their advice.
And transparency isn't just for the customer's sake, right? It's also crucial for the developers and engineers who are building and maintaining these systems.
Totally. If we can't understand how an AI is making decisions, it's almost impossible to spot and fix any errors or biases that might sneak in.
It's like trying to solve a jigsaw puzzle without the picture on the box. You can move the pieces around, but you'll never see the full image or get what it's supposed to be.
That's a great analogy. And that's why explainability is such a hot topic in AI research right now. There's this big push to build systems that don't just give accurate answers, but can explain their logic in a way humans can grasp.
It's really cool to see how the whole conversation around AI is changing. We're moving past the initial excitement, the wow factor, and starting to grapple with the more complex questions of trust, transparency, and responsibility.
Yeah, it's a sign of maturity, I think. As AI becomes more intertwined with our lives, we can't just stop at the surface level. We got to ask the tough questions.
And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're peeling back the layers, not just looking at the technical side, but the human and societal implications too.
It's a much more complete way of understanding AI, recognizing that technology is never really neutral. It reflects the values and intentions of its creators.
That's a really important point. It means we have a responsibility to shape how AI develops and gets used in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
And speaking of responsibility, Let's talk about the companies involved. They're the ones building and using these systems, so they have a huge say in how this tech plays out.
For sure, they have a responsibility to ensure their AI is developed and used ethically, with a focus on fairness, transparency, and accountability.
It's not just about avoiding bad outcomes. It's about actively using AI to make the world a better, more equitable place.
I like that, yeah. Companies have this incredible opportunity to use AI for good, to tackle societal problems and create a future where tech empowers everyone.
But it's not just on companies. Individuals have a role too. We need to be informed, ask questions about how these systems work, and demand transparency from the companies using them.
It's about taking charge of our AI-powered future, not just passively going along with whatever comes our way.
And that's a powerful message as we wrap up this part of our deep dive. We've explored the complex relationship between AI and jobs, the need for transparency and explainability, and the responsibility we all share in shaping the future of AI. In part 3, we'll dig into some potential solutions and ways forward. Stay tuned.
And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into AI customer support. We've really gone deep into how these multi-agent systems work, and we've wrestled with some big questions about jobs and transparency. But I still feel like we're just scratching the surface here. Like, where do we even start to tackle these challenges and make sure AI is a force for good?
Yeah, it can feel a bit overwhelming, right?
Hmm.
But honestly, I think one of the most powerful things we can do is surprisingly simple.
Hmm.
Just talk about it. We need open, honest conversations about AI, and not just among tech people, but across all of society.
So demystify AI, bring it out of the labs and into everyday conversations.
Exactly. The more we talk about AI, the more we understand it, and the better equipped we'll be to make good decisions about its place in our lives. And these conversations need to happen everywhere, classrooms, boardrooms, even around the dinner table.
I love that. We need to make AI something everyone feels comfortable discussing, no matter their tech background. It's not about becoming coders, it's about grasping the basic ideas and what this technology means for us as it becomes more and more part of our world.
And that's where education comes in. We need to build AI literacy into our schools, from elementary all the way to university.
Mm.
And it's not just for future tech workers. It's for everyone.
Yeah, it's like financial literacy, right? A
Totally.
basic life skill you need in the modern world. AI literacy is becoming just as important.
I completely agree. And it's not just the technical stuff, it's about the ethical side too.
Yeah.
We need to teach critical thinking so people can weigh the potential benefits and risks of AI and make informed choices about when and how to use it.
So education is key, but it also feels like we need some boundaries, some rules of the road, right? I mean, AI is evolving so fast. How do we make sure it's used responsibly and doesn't, go off the
You're
rails?
right. On the money, we need regulation. And I know regulation doesn't exactly sound exciting,
Yeah.
but it's crucial to have clear guidelines and standards for how AI is developed and used, especially in areas like customer service, where it directly affects people's lives.
It's like setting boundaries, right? We wouldn't let a drug company just release a new medicine without testing and safety protocols. AI systems, especially those that interact with the public, need that same level of careful scrutiny.
Precisely. And these regulations need to cover things like data privacy, making sure there's no bias, and who's accountable when things go wrong. We have to ensure AI is being used fairly and responsibly, with ways to address any harm that might happen.
And this is where collaboration is so important. We need experts from all kinds of fields working together, ethicists, legal experts, social scientists, and of course the AI developers themselves. It can't just be tech people making these decisions alone.
You're absolutely right. We need diverse voices to create regulations that are both effective and ethical. Regulations that allow for innovation while also protecting the public good.
This is all so fascinating, but it also feels a little daunting, So much to think about, so many potential problems. How do we even begin to steer this powerful technology in the right direction?
It's a huge task, no question. But I think it starts with shifting our perspective. We need to move away from this idea of AI as some kind of all-powerful independent force and start seeing it as a tool that can be used for good or bad depending on who's using it and what their intentions are.
So not about fearing AI or trying to control it, but about shaping it, making sure it reflects our values and goals as a society.
Exactly. And that means being proactive, engaging with this tech thoughtfully and critically, and demanding that it's used in a way that benefits everyone. It's a huge responsibility, but it's also an amazing opportunity.
I'm feeling cautiously optimistic, I guess. Clearly there are challenges ahead, but it seems like more and more people are aware of them and are willing to roll up their sleeves and do something about it. And that gives me hope.
Me too. We're at a pivotal point with AI, and the choices we make now will have a huge impact on the future. It's up to all of us to ensure that AI is used to build a world that's more just, equitable, and sustainable for everyone.
That's a great point to end on, I think. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener, and I hope it's encouraged everyone listening to think deeply about AI, how it affects us, and how it's shaping the world around us. Keep learning, keep asking questions, and keep pushing for a future where AI is truly serving humanity. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.